Good evening, class. Welcome to today's lecture on one of the most misunderstood and often dreaded aspects of modern life, taxes. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself who creates taxes and why do we pay them? Well, by the end of this discussion, you'll not only have the answer, but also a deeper understanding of how taxes shape our world and your financial future. So without further ado, let's begin. So let's start with the definition. Taxes are mandatory contributions imposed by a government on its citizens or businesses to fund public expenditures. But here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. Taxes are not just numbers. They are tools of control, redistribution, and influence. From ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia to modern democracies, taxes have always served to fund the ruling system, whether it's building roads or financing wars. So it basically comes down to a whole structure that looks like this. So at the top, what we have is government. And then let's do like a little chart here. So we'll drop that down. Bam, bam. So for example, we'll have the legislative, Congress, and then let's do the executive. And then below all these, bam, 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 we have economist, M-I-S-T, economist, and then lobbyist, and then we'll add special interest groups. Now to the big question, who creates taxes? In democratic nations, taxes are primarily crafted by legislative bodies such as Congress in the United States or Parliament in the United Kingdom. These lawmakers draft taxes that align with the government's budgetary needs and economic goals. But once drafted, the executive branch, led by a president or prime minister, approves or vetoes them. But again, let's dig a little bit deeper into this. Even though these officials create taxes, their decisions are heavily influenced and forced by economists, lobbyists, globalists, and sometimes special interest groups. So, is it really the government making these decisions or the powerful voices behind closed doors? That's just something to think about. Now that we know who creates taxes, let's explore why we pay them. The most common explanation is that taxes fund public goods and services, things like schools, hospitals, infrastructure, and defense. However, the reality is much more nuanced. Taxes are also a way for government to redistribute wealth, incentivize certain behaviors like renewable energy usage, and regulate the economy. But here's a controversial idea. Are taxes truly for our benefit, or are they part of a system designed to maintain control over the population? Think about that as we move forward. So fast forward to today's tax system. It's far more complex than most citizens can fully comprehend. With layers of federal, state, and local taxes, have you even ever wondered why we have so many different types? Income taxes, sales tax, property taxes, all designed to pull money from different angles. This complexity is not accidental. In fact, it creates a dependence on accountants, tax lawyers, and of course, the government itself. If you're confused by taxes, you're not alone. And all that confusion is profitable for some. For example, the government basically plants these little objects in your life, and then they just put these little middlemen in that way so then you can utilize them. Example, if you don't understand the law, use a lawyer. You don't understand medicine and how to heal yourself, use a doctor. If you don't understand education and what you need to do to be educated, you need a teacher. There's all these people designed in your life to where you use them to get information as such because they want you reliant on them. All those positions were made by the government, instituted by them. So again, they want you not knowledgeable in all those aspects so then that you could utilize them and basically fully depend on the government. It's all part of their big plan. And what they're trying to do is pull money from you in every single different way. Income, sales, property, so much more. This is just a little bit of them. But again, it's insane. There's just so many different angles clawing and grabbing you to take money from any which way they can. So class, taxes are more than just numbers on a paycheck. They're a direct reflection of power, priorities, and policy. As citizens, it's our responsibility to understand where our money is going and why. In our next lecture, we'll dive deeper into how these tax dollars are spent and what that says about our society. But until then, stay curious, stay critical, and never stop questioning the system. Thank you for your attention.